big international news. US shoots down the giant Chinese balloon which had caused a diplomatic crisis between the two countries. Now, with the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken cancelling his visit to China over the weekend, the balloon was shot over North Carolina after US government shut 3 airports momentarily to clear the airspaces. Now, US authorities also waited for the balloon to reach the airspace over a water body so as to reduce chances of any impact on civilians. Now, China, meanwhile, has expressed strong dissatisfaction. The Chinese foreign minister said that they protest against US use of shoot to force down the balloon. China's civil airship is also called it an overreaction on violating international practices. Now, the Chinese balloon had caused a diplomatic crisis between the two countries, with the US Secretary of the State Antony Blinken cancelling his visit to China over the weekend. Now, US alleged that Chinese balloons was spying on the key military sites on US. Now, while China maintained that it was a weather balloon that had gone astray, in fact, Pentagon also claimed that they had spotted another Chinese balloon over Latin America.
On Wednesday, when I was briefed on the balloon, I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down on Wednesday as soon as possible. They decided, without doing damage to anyone on the ground, they decided that the best time to do that was as it got over water outside within the 12-mile limit. They successfully took it down, and I want to compliment our aviators who did it, and we'll have more to report on this a little later.
To give us more inputs on this report, here I'm joined by my colleague Rishabh on the phone line. Rishabh, we are learning that US has shot down a giant Chinese balloon, calling China's malpractices. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we are seeing that China is reacting to the issue and calling it US's overreaction over the issue. But how are we seeing this? Because two international big countries have come to, face to face, and there is being a clash. Over to you, Rishabh.
So what we do right now, as per China, it was a surveillance balloon, or rather a survey balloon that gathers data for weather and meteorology, and it by mistake entered the US airspace. For US, it was a spy ship, and remember, it was found at Montana. Montana happens to be the nuclear site for United States, and this becomes a big national security threat to the United States if a foreign balloon is which has capability of gathering data is found over its nuclear facility. And that's the reason it wasn't shot down immediately, because the US wanted to assure what exactly lies inside the balloon, and if it would have been shot initially, no one knew that how it would have turned. So once it went into Atlantic region and it was away from population as well as the nuclear facility, it was shot down. US was very clear that this is breach of US airspace, and that's the reason that Secretary Blinken actually cancelled his trip to Beijing next week. Then and there, within hours of sighting of the first balloon, Blinken cancelled his visit to Beijing, and this shows that US has taken it very seriously. While China has been defending, saying that they regret that this happened, but this was a civilian balloon, and now saying that US is overreacting on this whole issue. But US is very clear that it was a breach of their airspace and threat to their national security, and that's the reason they have shot down the plane. And this is again, we have seen a difficult relationship between US and China in past few months, and this is just an addition to it.
Right, Rishabh, rightly pointed out, and I would ask you to stay with us for more news and updates coming on.